Chapter 1101 Swallowed Star. Planet number 02881. When the golden horned beast chased Xian Hao into the space whirlpool, a figure shrouded in black mist floated in mid-air. I didn't see wrongly. Empyrean Teen Hao flew into the spatial vortex. The figure in the black mist nodded. When Xian Hao was being chased by the golden horned beast, he turned into a beam of light and was naturally very eye-catching. Coincidentally, he was noticed by the other race knight in the black mist. Fan Nuo Castle Master put a bounty on Xian Hao in the Alliance. Who knew I would find out first? His avatar in the outside world immediately sent a message to Fan Nuo Castle Master. Fan Nuo Castle Master was a super being of the Thorn Ring Alliance, one of the top overlords of the universe. He was a heaven-defying being comparable to the strongest world tree. The reason why he was called a castle master was because he had a high-level treasure-flying castle. Even if he met a universe lord, he would have the confidence to escape. One had to know that the Sky Wolf Palace was just a high-level treasure-flying castle. It was just that the quality was slightly better, but it was obviously a treasure of the same level. A normal treasure? Fan Nuo Castle Master is indeed generous. I only followed him and he gave me such a huge reward. The black mist figure laughed sinisterly and followed him into the space whirlpool. The figure in the black fog appeared in midair after passing through the spatial vortex. He saw the black light that covered the sky and earth in the distance. Although it was tens of millions of kilometers away, the domain was too big, so he could naturally see it clearly from afar. This shocked him. Its power seems to be extraordinary. It should be a domain-type treasure. The black mist figure did not dare to get close, afraid of getting caught in it. Rumble suddenly, a dazzling golden river surged in the sky, clashing against the endless black light. It was like two oceans clashing against each other. The black light was constantly being forced back. The power of the golden river was not any weaker than it. The two domains clashed against each other, but they were obviously equally matched. Another domain-type treasure? The black mist figure was secretly shocked. Even among the universe overlords, there are very few who have domain-type treasures. And here, there are two. It seems like two universe overlords are fighting. I wonder if Xian Hao is among them? In the vast forest about 100 million kilometers away from the whirlpool, the golden horned beast and Xian Hao faced each other. Endless black light waves and endless golden rivers enveloped the forest, clashing time and time again. The trees and flowers in the forest were all destroyed, only the trunks remained standing. Xian Hao was even more furious, shouting, "Golden horned beast! Don't tell me you really want to fight me." Xian Tu the Supreme actually didn't want to fight. He released the domain treasure to slow down the golden horned beast and make it retreat. He didn't expect the golden horned beast to have a domain treasure too. Supreme Xian Hao, you should know, this battle, you can't escape. The golden horned beast watched from afar. Escape? Why should I escape? Do you think you can do anything to me with that little ability of yours? I actually don't want to fight with you. It's not that I'm afraid of you, it's just that I don't want to. There's no point in fighting you, so I used a domain-type supreme treasure to scare you off. I thought I was lucky, but I didn't expect you to have a domain-type supreme treasure as well. Supremacy Xiandu sneered. It seems you've had some fortuitous encounters in the past 20,000 years. The golden horned beast watched from afar. Xian Hao said coldly, "Looks like we have to fight." "Right." The golden horned beast said solemnly. "Then come, let's end this quickly." Xian Hao was completely enraged. This golden horned beast really thought it could do anything to him? He had fought with the pinnacle of the universe overlords before. Who was there to be afraid of? "Come." The golden horned beast roared. Its armor was completely black, 5 horns circled around it, the longest horn in the middle was even more dazzling. HMPH, the automaton overlord Xian Hao grabbed a black shuttle in each of his 8 arms, staring coldly at the golden horned beast. Rumble. Rumble. The two of them moved at the same time. As they charged at each other, their mighty domains also collided fiercely with each other. The endless black light ahead formed huge rolling boulders, and ahead of the endless golden river were 9 beasts rushing forward, clashing with all their might, trying to suppress each other. Damn golden horned beast, don't you understand? You can't do anything to me. I can't do anything to you either, forcing you to chase after me, you stupid bastard. Xian Hao's divine energy transmission resounded within Luo Feng's ears. At the same time the 8 black shuttles became beautiful lights. 8. Exalted Xian Heng shouted. 8. The seemingly pure and holy Xian Hao's expression was twisted, going all out to teach this stubborn golden horned beast a lesson. How an indistinct roar seemed to resound in one's ears, yet it also seemed to resound in one's mind. This roar that came from the ancient times and represented the beast god's ultimate path of laws caused even Xian Heng to be slightly stunned. Following which, the golden horned beast had already buried its head and charged over. Burying its head, that longest horn was like a long spear, shining with an endless blinding golden light. The sharp cold golden light immediately broke apart the 8 shuttles. Ping! The golden horned beast lowered its head, that longest horn smashing fiercely. Rumble Xian Hao was completely stunned the moment he was hit. The power of this attack was definitely the strongest attack he had ever faced. Even when he was escaping from Fan Nuo Castle Master and was attacked, it wasn't as terrifying as this. He didn't know. The golden horned beast's body was very close to Luo Feng's earth body. One was 10,081 times, the other 9,800 times. The purity of the god energy was almost the same. The secret offensive technique used was the master of the universe's ultimate secret technique, Golden Light. The only difference was that the Earthling's main body was using a high-grade cardinal treasure weapon, the Mountain Beheading Blade. And the golden horned beast was using a top-tier set of treasures. Its value was comparable to the pinnacle of treasures, the beast god armor's strongest single horn. Its power was much stronger. Supremacy Xiandi was sent flying. To his astonishment, he discovered that he'd lost 22% of his divine body. How can this be? No, this is impossible. Xian Hao couldn't believe it. It's actually a high-level treasure armor. Luo Feng was shocked within. This Xian Hao's body wasn't that big, only about 8 meters tall, with the golden horned beast using the beast god armor to attack. If it was a normal armor, he would definitely die, and Luo Feng could easily feel the armor's resistance. He estimated that the normal weakening would be reduced to 1/100th, and then to 1/100th. This was definitely a high-level treasure armor. If it was like Zhong's Han the Knight's small body, even with a high-level treasure armor, with the golden horned beast's attack, he would be killed in one move. However, this Xian Hao's body is much bigger. Luo Feng thought. High-level treasure armor? The golden horned beast roared, looks like you prepared it for the opening of the primal star pathway. Xian Hao was shocked and furious. He looked at the golden horned beast before him. He couldn't believe it. Indeed, the universe reports said he used a normal armor, but that was old news. This time he indeed exchanged for a high-level treasure armor with his race to enter the primal star. The golden horned beast's attack was weak last time. Normal and high-level treasures couldn't even feel the difference. This time, the golden horned beast felt it clearly. How can you? Xian Hao stared furiously at the golden horned beast. How can this be? Back then you were clearly much weaker than me, but, don't ask why, once you're dead, there's no need to ask. The golden horned beast immediately rushed over again. Want to kill me? Xian Hao roared furiously, "Dream on! Flee!" Venerable Xian Tai controlled the endless black light to block the golden horned beast, while his wings flapped and he quickly escaped. And the golden horned beast used the Nine Miang River to surround it, directly charging into the endless black light and chasing. While the golden horned beast's body was covered in complicated golden engravings, immediately using its body as a weapon, releasing the golden light, its speed exploding, becoming a straight line as it pounced towards Xian Hao. What? Startled, Empyrean hastily changed directions. He was most adept at changing directions with great agility. "I'm good at it too." The golden horned beast flapped its wings and chased. The two chased and fled. They both relied on constantly changing directions, changing tens of times a second, chasing and chasing. The golden horned beast was shocked to find that in terms of instantaneous change of direction, it couldn't even compare to the Xian Hao. Right, his black wings and my Wu killer wings come from the same source. I've trained 180 million years on the diagram path. After coming out, even though I quickly broke the Nine Miang Rivers activation method, the Wu killer wings were obviously much more complicated. However, the Wu slaying wings are clearly much more complicated. Even now, I'm unable to use the third form. Luo Feng understood, if the black wings had a third form, then it was very likely the opponent was using it. No wonder no matter how he chased, he couldn't catch up. You can't catch up, give up. Xian Hao communicated, he too was extremely anxious. After all, the golden horned beast's speed was ridiculously fast, only by constantly changing directions could he stall for time. He had already asked for help from his race, however for the automaton warriors to rush over, that would require time. And he had fought with the golden horned beast before, he was very clear. This was definitely the power of an elite universe tyrant, even if the automaton universe lord personally descended. Just relying on controlling space and time from a distance wouldn't be able to deal with such a being. They would have to truly kill each other. Give up. The golden horned beast roared softly, I originally didn't want to use my strongest move, but you really can escape. Strongest move. Paragon Xianheng's face changed when he heard the divine transmission. That terrifying golden light was already unfathomable. Could it be that it wasn't his strongest move? This golden horned beast that was clearly much weaker than him back then, in less than 20,000 years, it had actually become this strong. Rumble. The golden horned beast's eyes were extremely calm, burning god energy surged out. As a 90,000 kilometer long golden horned beast, it hadn't even used 1/100,000th of its god energy from the battle till now. However, the moment it activated I'm the universe, the god energy surged out. The endless skies and lands were instantly engulfed. 100 million km away from the battle, the black mist silhouette that had been silently following, carefully followed. Suddenly he looked at his surroundings, only to feel that it was all gray, endless chaos energy filled the air. What's going on? The sky, why is it dark? The black mist silhouette looked around, stunned. Chapter 1102 Swallowed Star. The miniature universe was vast, with a diameter of 300 million kilometers. Chaos energy filled the entire universe, it was chaotic. The golden horned beast was in the center of the entire miniaturized universe. Its god body was supplying the entire miniaturized universe with energy. Weird. There's actually a foreign knight, Wu, it's the Thorn Ring Alliance's illusionary expert, the Mist Knight. He seems to still be observing his surroundings, not realizing what's happening. The moment the golden horned beast successfully unleashed the miniature universe, it sensed that there was another foreign knight within its range, obviously one of the unlucky ones that got caught up in it. Actually, Luo Feng had already intentionally shrunk the miniature universe. The miniature universe could reach a diameter of 10 billion kilometers, or it could shrink to 100 million kilometers. As the diameter shrank, the membrane would gradually thicken, and as the diameter grew, the membrane would gradually thin. Of course, this was under the condition that Luo Feng maintained the same amount of God energy. If the God energy supply grew stronger, naturally the membrane would become thicker and stronger. With a diameter of 300 million kilometers, it was still able to bring in a foreign race. Looks like he saw my battle with the Cheyenne Heng Knight earlier, Luo Feng thought. The Mist Knight had been observing from afar for a while. He had seen the golden horned beast and the Cheyenne Heng Knight fighting at the edges of their respective treasures. Plus he had seen earlier that golden horned beast was chasing the Cheyenne Heng Knight. The two of them had escaped into the space whirlpool. Naturally he swiftly made some deductions. Then you're unlucky. Luo Feng's thoughts only lasted for an instant, not even 1/10,000th of a second. He followed closely behind the golden horned beast and rushed towards the Cheyenne Heng Knight. What is this place? The Cheyenne Heng Knight looked fearfully at the endless chaos energy around him. This is the universe ocean? No, I'm on the primal star. Why am I suddenly in this place? Is this a domain treasure? He clearly has a domain type supreme treasure, so why would he use another domain type supreme treasure? Rumble. The distant Golden River surged over. At the front of the Golden River were 9 beasts rushing over, and behind them was the golden horned beast. Block it. The Cheyenne Heng Knight's eyes were filled with madness. Countless black lights were trying to block it. Ping, ping, ping. Just like how a heavy truck could easily crush a short sports car, the power of the Golden River instantly soared to a whole new level with the help of the universe's origin source of the entire miniature universe. On the other hand, Supremacy Cheyenne's supreme treasure domain was suppressed by the universe's origin energy of the miniature universe, causing its might to drop by a level. This round and back, the originally similar treasures domains now differed greatly. Ping, ping, ping. Like a block of ice shattering, the endless black radiance was easily dispersed, unable to protect Paragon Cheyenne Hao at all. What? Exalted Cheyenne Ming was shocked. Flee. Empyrean Heavenfoot turned to flee. However, when the endless golden river smashed through the black light, it surrounded him. Currently, the power of the 9-sea river had been raised to another level. Even Cheyenne Heng the Supreme found it hard to fly within. In that instant, the golden horned beast had already caught up, arriving in front of Cheyenne Heng the Supreme. Golden horned beast. Cheyenne Heng roared as he waved the light shuttle in his 8 arms. It's useless. The golden horned beast roared. The golden light shone once again. Under the sharp and cold golden light, the 8 seemingly beautiful black light shuttles were so fragile that they were immediately flung away. Cheyenne Heng the Supreme's body seemed so fragile before the long horn. As the entire space trembled, Cheyenne Heng the Supreme's eyes were filled with unwillingness. Following which, without a sound, his body was completely destroyed. It's a pity that the moment I unleash the Universe Lord's ultimate move, I'm unable to precisely lower its power. If I could control it precisely, I'd probably be able to knock Cheyenne Heng into a deep slumber. Luo Feng thought. The stronger one was, the harder it was to knock them into a deep slumber. Like the Emperor-level Undyings, normally when they lose 10% of their body, they'd fall into a deep slumber. 10% of their body would definitely fall into a deep slumber. However, the Universe Lord's willpower was incomparably powerful. Their God energies were much purer too. Even if they only had 5% or 3% of their body left, they could still maintain their consciousness and self-destruct. Only when they had 1% of their body left, would they be able to instantly fall into a deep slumber. However, this was too difficult. In a life and death battle, even if one unleashed their ultimate moves, there was no guarantee they could knock the opponent down to 1%. And if their willpower was truly terrifying, like the Universe Lord, even if they only had 1% left, they could still maintain their consciousness for a moment. They would rather self-destruct than be enslaved forever. Hence, the stronger one was, the harder it was to enslave. Unless one enslaved the strong when they were weak, when they grew up, they would naturally have a strong slave. Rumble within the attack, Xian Heng the Supreme's black armor, silver wings, weapons, world ring and other items all scattered in all directions. Everyone come over. The golden horned beast's thoughts moved. Under the control of the miniature universe, all the items left behind by Xian Heng the Supreme were swiftly brought before Luo Feng. As Luo Feng infused his god energy, the items swiftly recognized him as their owner. This also made Luo Feng understand that Xian Heng the Supreme indeed didn't have the ability to create clones. Collect. Luo Feng immediately kept them in his space ring. After which he turned to look into the distance. About 100 million kilometers away, the black mist silhouette was looking around cautiously. Time to fall. Luo Feng thought. Rumble. Large amounts of chaos energy madly surged towards the black mist silhouette. The chaos energy seemed to be split into two, one moving clockwise and the other counter-clockwise, almost like a huge millstone with the black mist silhouette in the center. Universe millstone, great suppression. Luo Feng said coldly. The miniaturized universe was the strongest innate talent mystic art. It was even stronger than the golden light that he had created. The miniature universe had many methods too, like the universe origin energy suppression, universe millstone suppression, these normal methods. There was also the ultimate universe explosion and the strongest methods. And his normal techniques weren't that strong. For example, the universe millstone crush, it couldn't even kill Xian Hao. However, for a high-level universe sage who didn't even have an armor treasure, even the 9-Sea River, which was a level higher, could grind him to death, much less a miniature universe. The demon was looking around cautiously. However, he suddenly felt the sky and land spin. Two huge chaos energies surrounded him, almost like millstones revolving in reverse, madly suppressing him. The demon howled in pain. Within the suppression, his body was madly depleting, 90% minus 70% minus 50%, this rate of depleting was shockingly fast. Let me go. I have no enmity. The demon shouted in fear, let me go. However, the endless chaos world didn't stop. This made the demon despair and hate within. He didn't expect to follow Fan Nuo Castle Master's orders to end up like this. The venerable roared angrily. Damn. When his body was left with 30%, the demon roared unwillingly and chose to self-destruct. Rumble, the shockwaves spread in all directions. The demon fell. You don't even have a single treasure, what are you struggling for? Rumble. The miniature universe swiftly vanished and the land and skies returned to peace. Only the golden horned beast floated in mid-air. Xian Heng the Supreme and the demon's treasures were all collected. I didn't expect to lose close to 10% of my body in just this short period of time. Golden horned Luo Feng thought. Activating the miniature universe and rushing to Xian Heng took close to 3 seconds. Killing Xian Heng and stealing the treasures took less than 2 seconds. Using the great cosmic millstone to crush the venerable of the demonic fog took nearly 3 seconds. Keeping the treasures took close to 1 second. The entire process took close to 9 seconds. Go. The golden horned beast flapped its wings and swiftly left. Luo Feng spent close to a day to leave the primal star and reach the outside world. After a while, he returned to his god country. Within Luo Feng's god country, the majestic god country was constantly expanding. That endless dark ocean too was constantly growing. Close to 20,000 years, my endless dark ocean has grown quite a bit. A silver-armored Luo Feng gazed below and smiled. Treasures. Luo Feng waved his hand. Immediately treasures appeared in mid-air. Large amounts of treasures floated in mid-air. They were all obtained from the primal star over the past year. However, most of them were normal treasures. High-level treasures were few and far between. On the other hand, he had gained quite a lot from killing Supremacy Xian Hao. Aside from the supreme treasure pair of wings that he needed the most, there was an ordinary supreme treasure suit, 8 shuttles, a high-grade supreme treasure armor, and an ordinary domain-type supreme treasure. As expected of the machine race. To me, the most important thing is still this wing. The silver-armored Luo Feng said softly, his hand grabbing the wing. He had thought that the wings were black, but after Overseer Xian Hao's death, the wings had reverted to their normal color. They were silver as well. It was exactly the same color as Wu Sha's wing. The wing in Luo Feng's hand trembled slightly, almost as though it was about to fly out of his hand. How the golden horned beast in mid-air also flew over. At the same time a beautiful silver feather separated from its wings. Go! Luo Feng loosened his grip. Immediately, the treasured wings flew out and rapidly drew closer to the wings of Shi Wu in the distance. When the two equally beautiful silver wings touched, there was a crackling sound. The feathers on the wings, which were as sharp as blades, sprang up, and the roots of the wings flickered with silver light. The two treasured wings continued to fuse with each other and began to undergo a qualitative change. A vast pressure began to emit. The pressure emitted at this moment was the true pressure. This moment of fusion was the moment when this mysterious treasure wasn't hidden at all. So, what a strong pressure! The silver-armored Luo Feng stood in mid-air, shocked. Immediately he was filled with excitement and anticipation. Chapter 1103 Swallowed Star. The two pairs of wings were like incomparably intricate machinery, as they fused layer by layer, even the engravings on the two treasures fused together, forming an even larger and more profound engravings. Endless pressure emanated from it. Looking closely at the scene, it felt like a long time. In truth, it only took a few tens of seconds before it ended. Everything regained its calm. Only the huge silver wings were left in mid-air. It was extremely beautiful. Unlike the other treasures Luo Feng commonly saw, it was instead extremely beautiful. 4 wings. Luo Feng looked at the silver wings treasure. After fusing, it had a total of 4 wings. Come, Killer Wu Yu Yi, let me feel your current power. Luo Feng still called the wings Killer Wu. In the distance the silver wings in mid-air immediately became a silver light and merged into Luo Feng's body. Behind Luo Feng's back 2 pairs of silver wings filled with endless pressure. The wings spread out, and seemed to affect the surrounding space and time. Space and time. The wings treasure I got from the Xian Knight. The engravings are related to the time laws. My original Killer Wu Yu Yi was specialized in space. The two combining can actually affect space and time. The 4 wings behind Luo Feng slightly trembled. God energy constantly poured into the wings, carefully studying the engravings on the wings. Even though he didn't train in the time laws, the engravings on the wings were still within his research range. With Luo Feng's research level, after studying for half an hour, he was able to unleash the initial power of this new wing treasure. Who? Luo Feng's 4 wings swiftly moved. Su. 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 In the sky above the endless dark ocean, a blur of countless Luo Fengs appeared. There were over 10 million of them. Unbelievable wings. This move can actually cause chaos in space and time. Then this new Killer Wu Yu Yi's first form shall be chaotic space and time. Luo Feng said softly. Before the fusion, the second form of the Killer Wu Yu Yi could cause chaos in space. The second form of the flowing light wings could cause chaos in time. And the first form of the new wings, chaotic space and time. Actually it was a combination of space and time, causing the space and time to be completely chaotic. The movement would be even more unpredictable. And this was just the first form. There's still the second form. Luo Feng carefully studied. Horizontal ellipsis. After a total of 3 days, Luo Feng finally chose to give up. After all, his time law's foundations were too weak. Even with his profound knowledge of the engravings and his familiarity with the Wu killer wings, he was able to deduce the first form. But controlling the second form was too difficult. According to Luo Feng's guess, the second form of the new wings should be the combination of the third form of the Wu killer wings and the third form of the flowing light wings. And I feel that this new wing is incomplete, frowned Luo Feng. Although the mysterious patterns on the new wings are extremely profound, a part of them should be missing. Luo Feng's vision was extremely high. He had even created the Universe Lord's ultimate technique before, and he frequently studied the engravings of the miniature universe. Therefore, even though he hadn't studied it thoroughly, he could sense that the mysterious patterns on the new wings were missing. Don't tell me there's a third pair of wings. Luo Feng was shocked. That was right. There were definitely more than just 2 pairs of wings. According to his understanding of the mystical patterns, there were definitely still missing parts. There should be a third pair of wings. Just based on the power of these first 2 wings, they should be considered top-level treasures. Luo Feng was shocked within. If I were to fuse with the third pair of wings, its power would definitely explode. Let's not think too much about it for now. The Primal Chaos City teacher had the Wu killer wings for so many years, yet he didn't realize it was incomplete. I was lucky enough to meet the Cheyenne AO Knight, only then did I realize the 2 wings were attracted to each other. Luo Feng knew too, this couldn't be blamed on the Primal Chaos City leader, because the pure Wu killer wings or the pure flowing light wings, from the engravings alone, one couldn't see any flaws. From the engravings alone, the Wu killer wings were pure space flow, while the flowing light wings were pure time flow. Very perfect, one couldn't see any flaws at all. However, the moment the 2 combined, one would realize that after the space and time combination, there was a missing core. And because of the missing core, the power of the wings didn't reach its ideal limit. Back then, when he only had the Wu killer wings, he didn't even succeed in researching the third form. Right now, to understand the new Wu killer wings' second form, Luo Feng tried for 3 days and knew that it would take a long time. No matter, this wing is much stronger than before. As for the third pair, it'll depend on luck. Luo Feng's thoughts moved. In the distance, the treasures floating in mid-air began to be categorized. Ocean clone. Beside Luo Feng appeared a 9,000-kilometer tall god body, Ocean clone. It's carrying a high-level treasure armor, a domain-type supreme treasure, and a high-grade supreme treasure saber. Luo Feng swiftly made the Ocean clone equip himself. The high-level treasure armor and domain treasure came from the Cheyenne AO Knight. As for the high-level treasure blade, it was from the 5 universe tyrants he had killed in the past year. I'll bring some precious materials, many treasures, some items etc. The Ocean clone will return to Earth to guard. Luo Feng thought. Su. The Ocean clone swiftly shrunk to a height of 1.8 meters, dressed in black armor and purple blade, exchanging glances with Luo Feng, after which he teleported away from the God Country. I'll leave the treasures in the God Country, there's no point in bringing them along. Teacher Tru Yan probably lacks treasures too, I'll pick a suitable one for him later. Luo Feng smiled. With a step, he brought the golden horned beast and Moshe clansmen and left. In space outside Earth. Dressed in black armor and carrying a purple blade on his back, the Ocean clone stood in the atmosphere. His god energy enveloped the entire Earth. From today onwards, he would silently protect Earth, and also the Luo family. The reason why Luo Feng made this decision was because after roaming the Primal Star for close to a year, he realized bringing the Ocean clone along was useless. In terms of god energy purity, the Ocean clone was 1/10th of the golden horned beast. In terms of size, it was only 1/1000th. With such a huge difference between the god bodies, then even if the earth body expended a little in battle, he could easily replenish it from the golden horned beast. With the golden horned beast's huge body, it could automatically recover in moments. And self-destruction? The power of the ocean clone's self-destruction couldn't even compare to Luo Feng's Universe Lord ultimate technique, Golden Light. Hence, God energy replenishment, battles etc. didn't require the ocean clone. However, the ocean clone's own battle strength was extremely strong. The moment he was equipped with the high-level treasure armor, blade, domain treasure, along with the Universe Lord ultimate technique, Golden Light. His battle strength was only slightly weaker than the Earth body by a level, even stronger than normal universe tyrants. It was enough to protect Earth. Even though Luo Feng had long left a few tokens to his family, at a critical moment, he would be able to sense it. However, once he sensed the tokens, he would have to rush back. It was still better to protect it personally. The ocean clone headed to Earth to protect it. Luo Feng's body headed back to Primal Star. Far away in the Ring of Thorns Alliance, in front of a towering palace, a Universe Lord was casting space-time reversal. A figure shrouded in black fog stood in front of the palace, the surrounding space-time constantly reversing, and yet he stood there silently, the backlash of the universal nomological laws being transmitted layer by layer to the towering Universe Lord's divine body. After a while, everything returned to normal. That Universe Lord nodded towards the distance and immediately returned to his palace. Thank you, Universe Lord. In the distance, a huge man who was watching silently bowed. I'm alive, I'm alive. The Fiend Mist Knight stood there stunned, after which he revealed a look of joy. Fiend Mist Knight. The huge man roared softly, causing the distant Fiend Mist Knight who was still in a state of joy to wake up and turn to look. The moment he saw the huge man, he flew over and said respectfully, Fan Nuo Castle Master. I told you to follow that Xian Heng, I would rush over immediately. However, I didn't expect you to fall while I was waiting for your news. The huge man said solemnly, I specially came to ask the Hu leader to reverse time and revive you. As for the price of reviving, I'll bear it. The Fiend Mist Knight let out a sigh of relief when he heard that. The price of reviving in time and space wasn't small. Just what happened? How did you fall? Fan Nuo Castle Master roared. It's like this. The Fiend Mist Knight said, that day I saw Xian Heng and a golden horned beast, one in front and one behind, flying into the space whirlpool. Hence I went to report to you. After which I received your orders to follow. The moment I entered the space whirlpool, I saw the battle in the distance. The two warriors both had domain treasures. Xian Heng indeed had a domain treasure. Fan Nuo Castle Master snorted coldly, he was lucky to get it. At that time they were fighting. The Fiend Mist Knight said, I also suspected that Xian Heng was within, hence I watched carefully, but I didn't dare enter the domain. The battle between the two was intense, the domain treasures were equally matched. I finally saw it clearly. One was indeed Xian Heng, the other was the golden horned beast. Fan Nuo Castle Master listened carefully. Xian Heng was obviously at a disadvantage, he quickly fled. The Fiend Mist Knight said. Fled? At a disadvantage. Fan Nuo Castle Master was shocked. That golden horned beast is so strong. Did you not recognize which knight of the Space Beast Alliance the golden horned beast is? I don't recognize it, I've never seen it before. The Fiend Mist Knight shook his head. Oh? Fan Nuo Castle Master was curious. One was fleeing and the other was chasing. I had to follow, I didn't want to be shaken off. But at that moment, the Fiend Fog Venerable revealed a look of disbelief. While they were chasing each other, the world suddenly darkened. I was completely immersed in the endless darkness, and the surroundings were filled with endless dark air currents. Double quote. Darkness, darkness. Fan Nuo Castle Master let out a look of shock. Could it be chaos energy? Chapter 1104 Swallowed Star. What chaos current? The Fiend asked curiously. The Thornring Alliance didn't have its own universe, so the Fiend didn't know what it was. Fan Nuo Castle Master looked at the Fiend. That's the energy from the beginning of the universe. It's the source of all energy that we know of. The source of all energy. The Fiend was shocked. You don't have to ask. Fan Nuo Castle Master frowned. How did you encounter chaos current on the primitive star? Tell me in detail. Fan Nuo Castle Master was one of the top tyrants of the universe. His position was extremely high, and he knew many secrets of the universe. Naturally, he knew that chaos current couldn't appear on the primitive star. It's like this. The Fiend explained. I was watching the golden horned beast and Xian Hao fight from afar. Suddenly, the sky turned dark, as if I had fallen into another world. The surroundings were filled with dark currents. I immediately knew that I had fallen into the enemy's dangerous move. I immediately begged for mercy, hoping that the warrior would let me go. But it was useless, following which, the dark currents split into two, like a giant millstone, trapping me in the middle. Under the pressure of the millstone, my god body was rapidly depleting, forcing me to choose to self-destruct. Double quote. Fan Nuo Castle Master nodded slightly, but he was secretly shocked. It really was chaos current. It should be some special treasure. Based on what Fan Nuo Castle Master knew, some special treasures, or the scariest existences within the universe Lord, could create some super strong techniques that could create chaos current. It was just a golden horned beast and a Xian Hao. There wasn't a need for a universe lord to be involved. If there really was a universe lord, then killing the Fiend would be even easier. There wouldn't be a need to use such a heaven-defying technique. Fan Nuo Castle Master thought to himself, then there's only one possibility, it should be some special treasure. Although Fan Nuo Castle Master's knowledge was very high, he didn't know that a perfect life form could obtain the strongest natural ability. That was already a very high-level secret in the universe. So he didn't guess that it was a natural ability. Then the golden horned beast's domain-type treasure, what kind of domain does it display? Fan Nuo Castle Master stared at the Fiend Fog Knight. Even though there were many domain-type treasures in the universe, every domain-type treasure had a different domain-type treasure. They all had their own unique characteristics. From the domain-type treasure, he should be able to guess the background of the golden horned beast. After all, Fan Nuo Castle Master knew nothing about the golden horned beast. Domain. The fiendish Fog Supremacy recalled and said, Golden River, a vast and mighty golden river. Right, there were a few exotic beasts. When the domains of the two supreme treasures collided, the strange beast and Paragon Xiandao's domain were like giant boulders. As for how many strange beasts there were, I couldn't see them clearly because I was too far away. Double quote. Golden River. Mutated beast. Fan Nuo Castle Master creased his eyebrows before his eyes lit up. Human Luo Feng. Double quote. Human Luo Feng. The Fiend Mist Knight was curious. You can leave now, Castle Master Fan Nuo ordered. The Venerable of the Demonic Fog Venerable was slightly stunned and unwilling. Fan Nuo Castle Master looked at him coldly. The Venerable of the Demonic Fog Venerable could only grit his teeth and become a beam of light as he flew away. He cursed within, Damn Fan Nuo Castle Master, I followed your orders to follow Paragon Xiandao and he killed me. Even though I've reversed time and space to revive, all my treasures are gone. Not a single one. I've really suffered a huge loss this time. I'm really unlucky. Double quote. Fan Nuo Castle Master looked coldly at the distant venerable of the demonic fog. Venerable, HMPH, I've already paid the price of reversing time and space to revive, and you still want benefits? HM. Fan Nuo Castle Master stood in mid-air and pondered. Human Luo Feng. That domain treasure is the human race's Nine Miang River. And the Nine Miang River is in the hands of the human Luo Feng. Fan Nuo Castle Master thought. The Nine Miang River originally didn't belong to the human race. After a few battles, the treasures changed hands and finally landed in the hands of the human race. Luo Feng's name has been quite famous recently. Because of him, many beings from the various races of the universe have fallen. Fan Nuo Castle Master naturally received the news long ago and knew that Luo Feng had the Nine Miang River. And because the venerable of the demonic fog venerable was on the primal planet, his position was average. He only knew that many other race knights had fallen because of greed while chasing after Luo Feng. Other details like the Nine Miang River etc. were unknown. Before the venerable of the demonic fog venerable said that the golden horned beast and the Cheyenne Heng Knight were fighting. However, the Nine Miang River suddenly appeared. Looks like the human Luo Feng's helper is that golden horned beast. Fan Nuo Castle Master nodded to himself. To be able to have such a battle record, killing so many foreign knights and even overlords, no wonder the Cheyenne Heng Knight had to flee. And the treasure that formed the chaotic energy flow should belong to the golden horned beast. If it was the Cheyenne Heng Knight, he wouldn't have needed to flee when he met me back then. Double quote. The demonic fog venerable was killed from afar. The Cheyenne Heng Knight should have fallen. Then, the treasure should be with the golden horned beast. Double quote. Luo Feng. The golden horned beast. Double quote. Fan Nuo Castle Master thought for a while and made his decision. Let's go meet the human Luo Feng. Fan Nuo Castle Master immediately became a beam of light and swiftly disappeared from the area. Primal Planet. The silver-armored and silver-winged Luo Feng carried the mountain beheading blade on his back and flew high in the sky. And a few other race knights that saw Luo Feng from afar immediately dodged. It's Luo Feng. Quickly dodge. This Luo Feng's wings used to be a pair, how did they become four? Who knows, to change the shape of the treasures. Or to exchange for treasures. Double quote. Luo Feng was just like the other pinnacle universe lords, causing the other race knights and even the universe lords to retreat. Of course, when a universe lord descended on a planet, Luo Feng would dodge too. Even if he really wanted to enter that planet, he would stay far away from the universe lord, maintaining a distance of over 10 billion kilometers. Is this the feeling of a strong warrior? Luo Feng stood at the peak of a majestic mountain, gazing down at the vast land. On the so-called dangerous primal planet, I can do whatever I want. As long as I avoid the universe lord's location, no one will dare to provoke me. Double quote. The primal planet was dangerous, but that was relatively speaking. To the universe lords, it was extremely dangerous. To the universe lords, it was much less dangerous. Otherwise, Gui Knight wouldn't have been so confident in borrowing a soul treasure from Luo Feng back then. Normally, if one avoided the pinnacle of universe lords or universe lords, there wouldn't be much danger. The pinnacle of universe lords were even safer. Unless one actively provoked the universe lord. For example, when a treasure trove opens, the pinnacle of universe lords and universe lords enter to fight for it. Under those circumstances, there would naturally be a chance of death. Otherwise, if one kept avoiding the universe lord, he would definitely be able to do whatever he wanted. Luo Feng turned fiercely towards a direction. The warriors of the primal planet's races usually avoid me from afar. This foreign race actually dares to stay within 10 million kilometers of me? In the distance, a jade green light flew straight at Luo Feng. That is, Luo Feng carefully analyzed. It was a huge man with green life energy flowing all over his body. Through his race's characteristics, looks, energy. It's the Piercing Ring Alliance's Fan Nuo Castle leader. Luo Feng immediately recognized him and laughed within. No wonder he wasn't afraid of him, it was the Pinnacle Overlord Fan Nuo Castle leader. Human Luo Feng. A powerful voice resounded. Fan Nuo Castle leader. Luo Feng stood at the peak of the mountain and looked over. After a while, Fan Nuo Castle leader descended not far from Luo Feng, smiling as he looked over. I've long heard of the human Luo Feng's name, this should be the first time we've met. I'm afraid it's because I entered the primal planet this time that I attracted his attention. Luo Feng smiled, and with such a strong reputation, even causing many other race knights to avoid me. I didn't rely on my own strength. It's not like Fan Nuo Castle leader's own strength that can shock the other races. Double quote. Since the other races all believed he had a helper, then he just let it be. Anyway, no one would believe him even if he said it. Your strength is not bad too. In the future, you have high hopes of becoming an overlord of the universe. Fan Nuo Castle leader looked at Luo Feng. I've seen you and have something I'd like to ask for help with. Help? Luo Feng said, please speak. This Fan Nuo Castle leader was asking for his help. I need to craft a treasure, and I've gathered many materials. Fan Nuo Castle leader looked at Luo Feng. However, I'm lacking precious metals. The other knights avoid me when they see me, making it impossible for me to speak to them. Luo Feng smiled. Right, when he wanted to speak to the other races, they avoided him tens of millions of km away. I wonder what metals you have. If you have what I need, I'm willing to exchange for it at a high price. Fan Nuo Castle leader smiled. Metals? Luo Feng asked curiously, don't tell me the Thorn Ring Alliance doesn't have any? I really don't. Fan Nuo Castle leader was helpless. There are many types of precious metals in the universe, the ones I need. I had them in the past, but they've all been exchanged for. Luo Feng nodded. I do have some materials, but I'm afraid I don't have what you want. Luo Feng said. Back when he killed Xian Tai Knight and returned to his god country, Luo Feng had placed a few treasures and even materials he didn't understand in his god country. Since even he couldn't understand them, they were obviously valuable. What Luo Feng brought with him were easily recognizable, and he was clear of their value. Who knows? Fan Nuo Castle leader laughed loudly. How about letting me take a look? Sure. Luo Feng waved his hand and immediately a large amount of metals floated before him. There were close to 1 million of them. This caused Fan Nuo Castle leader's eyes to gleam, carefully inspecting them. After a while his eyes dimmed, shaking his head and smiling. I really don't have any. Even the Thorn Ring Alliance lacks these metals. Where would I have them? Luo Feng smiled and kept them. Fan Nuo Castle leader was hesitant. Speak your mind. Luo Feng smiled. Fan Nuo Castle leader said, I didn't want to speak at first, but these metals are very important to me. Every race in the universe knows, Luo Feng, you have an elite tyrant helping you. I believe he has many precious metals with him. I wonder, can you let me take a look? If you do, I'll definitely exchange for treasures. I won't let your friend lose out. Double quote. Chapter 1105 Swallowed Star. Friend? Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. Everyone in the universe knows of your helper. Fan Nuo Castle Master smiled as he looked at Luo Feng. Please wait a moment, I'll ask him. Luo Feng said. Fan Nuo Castle Master nodded, waiting quietly beside him. Within he was anticipating, if he didn't have to fight to get the treasures he needed, that would be too wonderful. After all, being able to kill Xian Tai Knight, and having killed several universe overlords before at the hands of the golden horned beast, Fan Nuo Castle Master wasn't willing to easily start a fight. Luo Feng acted as though he was contacting him. In truth, the golden horned beast was just one of his clones. Where would he get new metals? Ah. Luo Feng looked at Fan Nuo Castle Master, his expression apologetic. Fan Nuo Castle Master, my friend said he doesn't have any metals on him. No. Fan Nuo Castle Master asked, don't tell me he's unwilling. My friend said he doesn't have any. Luo Feng continued to smile as he looked at Fan Nuo Castle Master, then there's no other way. Fan Nuo Castle Master nodded, sighing regretfully, what a pity. The moment his words landed, an overwhelming pressure suddenly emitted, simultaneously an endless jade green light lit up. One could only see huge vines that were a few km thick immediately enveloping the land, causing the land to sink into a vine world. Boundless and endless, it was filled with countless vines. The vines filled the entire space, completely surrounding Luo Feng. What a pity, I originally didn't want to make a move. An incomparably low voice resounded from the countless vines. Fan Nuo Castle Master. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows and roared angrily. Fan Nuo Castle Master, according to the reports, had an extremely powerful strength, with a total of 3 clones. The other 2 clones were extremely powerful too. The strongest was the Bei Snow Teng. This Bei Snow Teng should be Fan Nuo Castle Master's true body. The Bei Snow Teng was an extremely rare special life form in the universe. There were a total of 5 known. Fan Nuo Castle Master was one of them. He joined the Thorn Ring Alliance. The other 4, however, belonged to other powers in the universe. The Bei Snow Teng's life genetic level wasn't considered high, about 1,000 times, but its body was huge, over 1,000,000 km. And it had a natural ability transplant. Relying on the transplant ability, Fan Nuo Castle Master had 2 clones. Even though they weren't as big as the Bei Snow Teng, their life genetic levels were almost the same. In other words, Fan Nuo Castle Master alone was comparable to 3 top universe overlords. This gave him a very high status in the Thorny Ring Alliance. Horizontal ellipsis. Luo Feng, get your friend, that golden horned beast, to take out all the metal. Within the countless vines, a low voice resounded, hand over the metal and I'll spare your life. Otherwise, even if that golden horned beast can protect itself, it won't be able to protect you. Golden horned beast. Luo Feng smiled as he stood in mid-air, looking at the endless swirling jade green-colored vines. You know quite a lot. Are you going to hand it over or not? A low voice asked. Should I hand it over? Should I hand it over? Should I hand it over? His voice kept reverberating. I'll let my friend answer. Luo Feng looked to his side. Beside him a 1-meter-long cute golden horned beast suddenly appeared. Golden horned beast. A voice came from the vine world. Hand over all the metals you have and I'll leave immediately. Otherwise this human Luo Feng would definitely die. Answer me, are you going to hand it over or not? Double quote. The golden horned beast raised its head and roared, threatening me. Dream on. Double quote. Ha ha ha. Luo Feng laughed loudly. The endless vine world went silent for a moment, almost as though it didn't expect the golden horned beast to dare reject. Did the golden horned beast have the confidence to protect Luo Feng? At the same time, Fan Nuo Castle Master was shocked that Luo Feng could actually laugh at this moment. Since it's like this, then it's death. Before the voice even finished. It's your death. The golden horned beast and Luo Feng roared simultaneously. Rumble, boundless golden waves surged out in all directions, seeping through the gaps between the countless vines. It looked like a river, but in reality, it was a special energy domain created by the burning of divine power through the treasure of the 9 Nirvana River. In an instant, it covered a 30 million kilometer area. However, Fan Nuo Castle Master's Bei Zhu Teng clone easily blocked it. Big, big, big. The golden horned beast raised its head and roared. Hua. The golden horned beast swiftly began to grow larger, and the countless white vines that glowed with jade green light began to wrap around and attack. However, the golden horned beast was wearing the beast god armor. There wasn't a single part of his body that wasn't a weapon. He waved his claws and countless golden engravings revolved, beams of golden light flashed. Ping, ping, ping. Countless white vines were flung apart, unable to stop the golden horned beast from growing. He actually doesn't care about that human Luo Feng. Fan Nuo Castle Master was shocked. Simultaneously many vines became beams of jade green light that attacked Luo Feng. The silver-armored and silver-winged Luo Feng smiled as he watched all this. Break. Luo Feng said softly. The 4 wings on his back suddenly became 10 meters long. Simultaneously countless engravings revolved and immediately became 4 glaring golden wings, unleashing another technique Luo Feng had. Other than the Universe Lord's ultimate technique, Luo Feng had also created an Overlord-level ultimate technique, which he named Misty Light. Using the wings as blades, Luo Feng was already very familiar with it. It was just that he was unleashing 4 blades at once. And after the evolution, the newly slain Wu Yu Yi's attack power wasn't any weaker than the Zhan's hand blade. Hua hua hua. The glaring 4 arcs of golden light forcefully blocked the vines. Luo Feng stood in mid-air, his huge 4 wings waving, easily blocking all the attacks. Within a few seconds, all the vines had vanished. Of course it wasn't because of his earth body, but the golden horned beast. Big, big, big. Double quote. Covering the skies and land. This was the golden horned beast. A majestic golden horned beast that was definitely over 1,000,000 km long stood in mid-air, its entire body pitch black, emitting an incredibly ferocious aura. One had to know that the deities of the world was an amplification technique. After the 3rd level was completed, one could enlarge or shrink by a lot. To normal golden horned beasts, 100,000 kilometers was their limit. However, golden horned Luo Feng's normal body was 90,000 kilometers long. Even if it was only 36 times longer, it would still be a few million km long. As long as the body didn't exceed a certain limit, it wouldn't affect Luo Feng's battle strength. The golden horned beast was so huge, naturally it easily tore apart the vines, causing them to be unable to encircle it. 1,000,000 km long beast, 1,000,000 km long vine. The two faced each other. Luo Feng stood on top of the golden horned beast's head and looked from afar, only to see the endless vines extending out from a dark green castle. Obviously the core of the Bay Snow vine was completely hidden within the castle, while countless vines extended out from the exit of the castle. Luo Feng, looks like the universe aliens are all wrong. You, Luo Feng, already have the strength of a universe overlord. You've already stepped into the realm of a universe knight. Within the countless vines stood a silhouette. It was the huge Fan Nuo Castle Master. Fan Nuo Castle Leader stood in the air above the vine. Luo Feng stood in the air above the golden horned beast. Think whatever you want, Luo Feng said softly. Hand over the metal and I'll let you leave. Fan Nuo Castle Leader roared. He was actually already a little afraid. He couldn't help but look at the huge golden horned beast that was emitting a savage beast god energy. This golden horned beast gave him a feeling very similar to the golden beast god. Even the aura was very similar. And the technique the golden horned beast unleashed earlier made him even more cautious. Even though Luo Feng's technique was powerful, it was obviously much weaker than the golden horned beast. Fan Nuo Castle Leader, you seem pretty confident. Luo Feng looked at Fan Nuo Castle Leader. From what I see, you should hurry and leave. Against Fan Nuo Castle Leader, who had a flying fortress and a body with 1,000,000 km range, Luo Feng indeed had no intentions of fighting. The countless vines surrounding my Bei Zhu Teng clone is only a very normal attack. It's not my strongest technique. Fan Nuo castle leader roared, the Bei Zhu Teng clone is enough to tie down the golden horned beast, and I can kill you. I don't believe it. In the distance, Luo Feng mocked casually. This made Fan Nuo castle leader and the huge Bei Zhu Teng furious. With a heaven-shaking roar, a vast green world immediately enveloped an area of 1,000 kilometers, after which it clashed with the 9-minute river's Golden River. It was obviously a domain-type treasure. Looking at its power, it should be a normal treasure. Fight. Fan Nuo castle leader and Bei Zhu Teng attacked simultaneously. Rumble 1 could only see the vines intertwining. The countless vines actually transformed into 8 huge vines that were a few thousand km thick, like 8 huge whips, transforming into 8 dazzling jade-green whip shadows, covering the sky and earth as they lashed towards the golden horned beast. Howl! The golden horned beast buried its head and rushed over. Luo Feng retreated and stood in mid-air. Luo Feng, you're looking for death. Fan Nuo castle leader flew over. Luo Feng immediately pulled out the mountain beheader blade from his back, looking straight at the incoming Fan Nuo castle leader. A huge god whip appeared in Fan Nuo castle leader's hand, on it were countless ancient engravings. Under his burning god energy, he lashed straight at Luo Feng. Who? A misty golden light flickered. Luo Feng unleashed the Universe Overlord's ultimate technique, Misty Light. With regards to the 2 techniques he created, one of the Universe Lord's ultimate technique was named Golden Light, the Universe Overlord's ultimate technique was named Misty Light. One could see Luo Feng's transformation after 180 million years of training. Back then, when Luo Feng first created an absolute technique, he was filled with anticipation for it, hence he spent a lot of time thinking about its name. However, now that the mysteries of the universe had been revealed to Luo Feng, he was very casual about the name. It represented the path of the gold beast god, it was just golden light. The 2 clashed. Luo Feng immediately flew backwards, following which countless whips lashed over. He used the mountain beheader blade and Wu Killer wings to block, however the whips were too strong, even with his full strength blocking. They still lashed against his armor. However, with the armor, it allowed Luo Feng to completely block them. Not good. Even though Fan Nuo castle leader's strength was suppressing Luo Feng, he looked fearfully into the distance. That Bei Zhu Teng clone could no longer hold on. All the vines had retracted back into the dark green castle, becoming a beam of light and escaping. Chapter 1106 Swallowed Star. Fan Nuo castle master stared furiously at the black golden horned beast in the distance. Bei Zhu Teng was his original body, but when the 2 of them clashed, Fan Nuo castle master realized that he was completely suppressed. Even though he relied on his high-level armor and powerful god body, Bei Zhu Teng was definitely fine. However, Bei Zhu Teng couldn't stop the black golden horned beast at all. Xiu. The dark green castle became a beam of light and flew towards Fan Nuo castle master. Fan Nuo castle master too flew over. He couldn't care less about the human Luo Feng anymore. He was very clear that if he wasted any more time, the moment the unstoppable golden horned beast got close to him, he would be in deep trouble. Trying to escape, Luo Feng's wings flapped. Space and time immediately became chaotic. Silhouettes of Luo Feng appeared around Fan Nuo castle master. What? Fan Nuo castle master's expression changed. Simultaneously, he cursed the rumors. The rumors said Luo Feng trained in the path of the beast god. However, Luo Feng's control of space and time had obviously reached an extremely high level. Even with the help of treasures, without sufficient comprehension, how could he control it? Fan Nuo castle master didn't know of the existence of the engraving school. You want to stop me? Get lost. Fan Nuo castle master roared. The whip in his hand once again lashed out. A cold and sharp gold light flashed. The blade light was unstoppable. Ping! The whip was suppressed and bent. The beheading blade followed closely on Fan Nuo Castle Master's head. The armor glowed and blocked the attack. However, Fan Nuo Castle Master was still slashed downwards. Impossible. Fan Nuo Castle Master's eyes were filled with fear. He looked up at Luo Feng. How could this be? How could this be? That human Luo Feng, how could he be this strong? This blade technique? This blade technique and the golden horned beast's technique should be the same technique. Don't tell me, the absolute genius Luo Feng had already been possessed by the golden horned beast. Because of the possession, whatever the golden horned beast knew, the human Luo Feng knew too. This also explained why in a short 20,000 years, the human Luo Feng was able to unleash such a powerful technique. Yes, Luo Feng's talent is extremely high. Even an absolute being would be jealous and want to make him one of his bodies. However, for such a super genius, the human race must be extremely protective of him. How could he possess someone in such a situation? This golden horned beast is too scary. Fan Nuo Castle Master panicked and wanted to escape. Hua! Luo Feng's four wings moved. The pinnacle treasure Wu Killer wings pierced through space and time, causing his speed to reach a whole new level. He was much stronger than he was in the past. Almost instantly, several figures appeared in front of the Fan Nuo Castle Lord. You can't escape. Luo Feng's blade descended once again. Once again, Fan Nuo Castle Master used his divine whip to block the attack. Then, he flew backward. Horizontal ellipsis. Luo Feng caused Fan Nuo Castle Master to be unable to escape, forcing Fan Nuo Castle Master to activate his flying fortress to save him. Even though the flying fortress was flying over, the golden horned beast was also flying over. In terms of flying speed, the flying fortress was obviously much faster than the golden horned beast. Scram, humans. Huge vines shot out from the flying fortresses. HMPH. Luo Feng snorted coldly. The four wings on his back began to expand fiercely, almost instantly reaching 100 kilometers in size. One could clearly see with the naked eye, the huge wings got smaller as they neared Luo Feng's body. Luo Feng's back looked exactly the same as before. It was indeed mysterious. Break. The four huge wings were like four blades, the handles of which were on Luo Feng's back. The blades danced. Four rays of golden light lit up and directly smashed the vines that stretched out. Damn! Fan Nuo Castle Master was anxious. He roared. Rumble! All the vines immediately retracted into the flying fortress. Simultaneously, the flying fortress became a beam of light and smashed over. Rumble! The flying fortress immediately clashed with Luo Feng's huge Wu Killer wings. Luo Feng was slightly shaken. The moment the flying fortress clashed with the Wu Killer wings, countless vines shot out from within and swiftly entered the wings. Fan Nuo Castle Master clashed with one of the vines. Immediately, his divine whip and armor were all transferred into Bei Zuteng's body. His body was immediately destroyed. Countless vines swiftly retracted. At the same time the flying fortress tried to escape. Howl! The golden horned beast buried its head and dashed in space. The longest horn on its head smashed fiercely into the flying fortress. The flying fortress shook violently and was immediately sent flying. The flying fortress sped up and became a beam of light as it escaped. What a powerful golden horned beast! In the air above the ocean of the primal planet, the flying fortress floated and a huge man walked out. Fan Nuo Castle Master was still filled with fear. It actually took over the human Luo Feng's body. And it's so strong, it's really strong. Even though it's the same technique, the golden horned beast's power is obviously much stronger. That golden horned beast must have an extremely powerful attack treasure. Fan Nuo Castle Master was shocked the more he thought. This golden horned beast isn't to be messed with. Fan Nuo Castle Master thought. The battle had ended. Luo Feng was recalling the battle from before. Fan Nuo Castle Master's life genetic level is 1000 times. Compared to the World Tree, it's still lacking a little. And like the World Tree's natural talent control of space and time, it's even more beneficial in battle. Fan Nuo Castle Master's natural talent however is 2 more clones. Luo Feng thought. This made Fan Nuo Castle Master's strength weaker than the World Tree. His god strength was weaker than Fan Nuo Castle Master's. But the secret technique was much stronger than his. His true battle strength should be comparable to the World Tree, hence he was able to suppress Fan Nuo Castle Master. It's just suppressing him. His strength isn't that high. My attacks have already been weakened by a large amount after being blocked by his weapon. And when it landed on his body, it caused him very little damage. Luo Feng understood this too. As the golden horned beast had the beast god armor, with the advantage of the treasure, its power was heaven-defying. Even Bei Zuteng with a 1,000,000 km god body had to flee pathetically. However, it was only enough to make the opponent flee. After all, against a 1,000,000 km god body, Luo Feng had no choice. Much less the opponent had the flying fortress, almost like a turtle shell. After all, Fan Nuo Castle Master, who possessed the flying fortress, was able to resist the attack of the Master of the Universe and escape. Even if Meng Qi used I'm the Universe, it would be difficult for him to harm the 1,000,000-kilometer-long divine body within the flying fortress. The higher one gets, the harder it is to kill them. At most I can defeat them. Luo Feng thought. However, this time is weird too. Fan Nuo Castle Master wants to trade with me? He wants to kill me if he doesn't succeed? Double quote. To be able to make an elite universe lord this crazy, this metal's value is probably no less than a treasure. Luo Feng thought. In the distant northern border alliance, within the towering palace that burned with endless black flames that spanned over 100 million kilometers, there were large numbers of undying servants and even many universe paragons. When they looked at the main palace in the center, they all had respectful expressions. At the outer area of the entire palace, it was filled with endless starlight. Specks of starlight enveloped a few light years. This was where the Star River Lord resided. Star River Lord, a being with an extremely high position in the vast universe. His name wasn't any less than the primal Chaos City leaders. Even the various powers of the universe compared to the primal Chaos City leader, they all respected the Star River Lord more. Within the main palace, a black hole-like silhouette sat on the throne. Any light that neared the throne would be swallowed. One could only see a huge void above the throne. Hua hua hua. Time and space within the palace was being reversed. Time and space flowed backwards. The scenes within the palace were constantly being reversed. There were many groups of knights that came here to pay respects to the Star River Lord. There were even some great beings that personally came here to meet with the Star River Lord. Even 2 of the strongest warriors of the universe had come here. Freeze. Suddenly, 2 silhouettes that were bowing respectfully from a certain era were locked on. Time continued to reverse. The surrounding scenes constantly changed. However, the 2 silhouettes didn't move at all. Freeze. Another silhouette was locked on. Freeze. Freeze. Silhouettes after silhouettes were locked on. Various types of knights. A total of 39 high-level knights stood there unmoving, almost like statues. Time and space reversal. The originally reversed space-time began to rapidly return. The powerful universe operation law's backlash was continuously transmitted to the dark void above the throne. The dark void slightly trembled, sometimes shrinking and sometimes recovering. It was as though bearing the burden of reviving a total of 39 advanced paragons of the universe at the same time was extremely heavy to him. After a while, everything returned to normal. The 39 high-level knights regained their consciousness. They looked at each other in shock. Very quickly, they regained their memories. Thank you, Star River Lord. The 39 knights all bowed respectfully. There should be 22 or 23 of you that died because of that human Luo Feng. The dark space above the throne resounded. Answer me, who is the human Luo Feng's helper? It's the black golden horned beast. It's a beast similar to the golden horned beast. It has 6 horns and one of them is extremely long. Black beast. The knights all spoke. Suddenly a sharp voice said with suspicion, "You were all killed by the black beasts. However, I was killed by that human Luo Feng in one blade. Are you all not?" Double quote. Killed by Luo Feng? How strong can Luo Feng be? Are you joking? What a joke. The other foreign race knights spoke. However, I too was killed by Luo Feng. Me too. I thought I saw wrongly. I too was personally killed by Luo Feng. 3 of them spoke at the same time. Immediately the entire hall went silent. One high-level sage might be wrong, but a total of 4 high-level sages said it. Immediately all the other sages in the hall had a trace of shock in their eyes. Primal Chaos City. Lord. Luo Feng walked within the city leader's residence. The guards all bowed respectfully. Luo Feng nodded. With familiarity, he headed towards the clan treasures in the side palace. Fan Nuo Castle Master's actions before had caught Luo Feng's attention. Luo Feng even thought back to the Fiend Mist Knight that was killed by his I'm the Universe back then. Fiend Mist Knight and Fan Nuo Castle Master are both from the Thorn Ring Alliance. And Fan Nuo Castle Master actually knows my helper is the Golden Horned Beast. And he's come to exchange metals with me. Luo Feng guessed that his metals definitely had some unknown treasure. Hence, he temporarily left the primal planet and returned to his god country to bring the metals he couldn't identify. He couldn't identify them. Then he would come to Primal Chaos City to identify them. Just what treasure is it? Luo Feng was curious. He too reached the side palace. Rumble, the ancient bronze door slowly opened. Luo Feng immediately stepped in. Chapter 1107 Swallowed Star. The silent ancient palace was very spacious. Only the stone board in the center could be seen. One only had to place the item on the board and the virtual universe system would be able to inspect it. This was also the easiest place Luo Feng could think of to identify the treasure. Through the virtual universe network before, according to my authority, I've compared the metals I couldn't identify before. Even though they are rare, they wouldn't make that Fan Nuo castle leader rack his brains for them. Then there's only the last 3 left. Luo Feng thought. Just through the network, there were still 3 that he couldn't identify. According to Luo Feng's guess, the treasure should be within. Luo Feng flipped his hand and a green crystal the size of a sesame seed appeared in his palm. He gently placed it on the stone plate. Weng. Green threads rose up from the stone board, enveloping the green crystal and starting to carefully analyze it. After a while, a voice resounded, "One piece of metal wood crystal, offering it to the clan will give you 18 treasure points. Luo Feng, are you willing to offer this treasure to the clan?" "Ah, it's indeed a treasure." Luo Feng revealed a look of shock when he heard it. No wonder even with my authority, I couldn't find any information on this metal. Just a sesame seed-sized piece is worth 18 treasure points. Looks like, the treasures of the universe lords and knights I've killed are indeed not few. Double quote. However, just 18 treasure points isn't enough for Fan Nuo castle leader to make a move. Luo Feng shook his head. It wasn't this. He waved his hand and the sesame seed-sized crystal floated back into his palm, immediately keeping it in his world ring. With a flip of his hand, another piece of metal appeared in his palm. This was a black metal about the size of a head. Its surface had a total of 360 facets. Every facet was incredibly smooth, almost like a mirror. This was also one of the 3 metals Luo Feng couldn't identify. Go. The black metal immediately floated and landed on the board. Countless green threads soared up and enveloped the black metal stone. Luo Feng frowned. That long. Even inspecting treasures back then didn't take this long. After a while, the gentle voice resounded again, resounding throughout the entire palace. One divergent mirror stone, one of the tokens of the divergent god palace. Offering it to the clan for 20 treasure points. Luo Feng, are you willing to offer it to the clan? Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. 20 treasure points. It was even more expensive than the Jiuyuming River. That's it. Luo Feng looked at the key mirror stone in shock. At the same time, he quickly extended his hand and recalled the key mirror stone back into his hand. His eyes lit up as he stared at the key mirror stone. No wonder Fan Nuo Castle Master used so much effort to purposely trade metals with me. He bullied me because I couldn't see through the secrets of this key mirror stone. So, this is the divergent mirror stone. Luo Feng felt his blood boil. Horizontal ellipsis. Even though Luo Feng hadn't been in the primal star for close to 20,000 years, during that period of time, his consciousness would occasionally enter the virtual universe. Hence, he naturally knew about the major events that happened in the primal star. In the past 20,000 years, on the 10,081 primordial stars, the most soul-stirring event was the Divergent God Temple storm. Qi Shen Temple. It caused the various races of the universe to go crazy. On the 600th year of the primal star pathway's opening, the universe origin laws suddenly descended on the primal star 02892. Gold, wood, water, fire, earth, wind, thunder, light, time, space, all the great origin laws simultaneously descended on this primal star. The pressure was overwhelming. In an instant, the entire planet seemed to be locked down. Any knight or even an overlord found it hard to move. Simultaneously, a shrine slowly broke out of the ground. The process of breaking out of the ground lasted close to 100 years. And in this period of time, the various powers of the universe all sent their absolute beings over. In an instant, the ones surrounding the shrine were all universe lords. Those that dared to get close were all at least at the pinnacle of the universe. After 100 years, the Divergent God Temple had completely emerged. There was a black stone tablet erected before the shrine. On it were ancient engravings. Any warrior that saw it would know the message. The message was very simple. When the Divergent God Temple emerges, the stone tablet will appear. Once the stone tablet is destroyed, on the 10,081 primal stars, at a certain time, at a certain location, one or more key mirror stones will randomly appear. There will be a total of 36 key mirror stones. They are like normal stones. When they appear, the commotion will be comparable to high-level treasures. When all 36 key mirror stones appear, the Divergent God Temple will open. Only those with them can enter. If any other warrior barges in, they will be destroyed. 1 year later, the stone tablet was destroyed. Following which, there were many rumors saying that the key mirror stone had appeared on a certain primal star, causing many disputes. However, no one knew the exact time or location. Hence, it depended on luck. Even the strong would find it hard to obtain it. The news of the stone tablet had long spread. Luo Feng naturally knew about it too. So it's a key mirror stone. I really don't recognize it even with the treasure in my hands. Luo Feng looked at the black crystal. When the key mirror stone appears, its pressure is similar to that of a high-level treasure. Hence, one can only discover it when it appears. Only then will one know how special it is. A stone appearing, yet its pressure was comparable to that of a high-level treasure. Any warrior would be able to guess that it wasn't normal. However, someone like Luo Feng who had killed other warriors and taken their treasures, even with this key mirror stone, he wouldn't be able to recognize it. The origin laws of the universe have descended, The divergent God Temple seems to be the biggest treasure of this primal star. Luo Feng thought. The primal star normally only opens once after countless years, and every time it opens, it only lasts for 1,000 eras. Within these 1,000 eras, like the top-level domain treasures, top-level soul treasures, top-level flying palace treasures, top-level weapon treasures, these treasures of the same level would appear many times. However, they would all be incomplete and would appear separately. And within the entire 1,000 eras of the primal star's opening, there would always be one terrifying treasure that would stand above the others. Usually, it would be a peak-level domain-type treasure, peak-level flying palace-type treasure, or peak-level soul-type treasure. Of course, they would usually have other uses. For example, the Calamity armor had some soul defense. The Beast God armor had both offensive and defensive abilities. The Star Pagoda had soul defense, flying palace, suppressive, offensive abilities, and many other abilities. And every time the primal star opens, the strongest treasures that appear would usually have many different uses. Like the top-level soul treasures, they would usually focus on soul defense, or even have a portion of body defense, or even hypnosis abilities etc. Anyway, the top-level soul treasures were second only to the absolute treasures. And the absolute treasures were things that could only be found and not sought. Even the 9 great powers of the universe didn't have any absolute treasures to guard them. Hence, the top-level domain treasures, soul-type, flying palace-type treasures were enough to make the universe racers go crazy. The primal star only opens once after an incomparably long period of time. Luo Feng thought, every top-level soul treasure, or treasure of the same level, can be called the ultimate treasure of their race. The moment a powerful universe lord obtains it, along with other treasures, it's almost impossible for him to die. Even if he meets an absolute treasure, even if he can't beat it, he'll still be able to escape. No wonder. No wonder Xian Tao has always been hiding it, not daring to reveal it. After all, the moment it is revealed, the automaton universe lords will naturally use it. It's already not bad for him to obtain such a high-level treasure. However, if he were to go in himself, one has to know that only 36 people from the entire universe can enter, and they'll enter from different doors within the palace. There's a chance of survival. The moment he comes out, his rewards will be huge. Even if he fails, he'll just revive again. However, the moment he succeeds. Luo Feng understood Xian Tao and Fan Nuo castle leader's thoughts. Xian Tao was hiding his information. Fan Nuo castle leader wasn't willing to reveal the fact that Xian Tao had the stone. The moment it was revealed, Xian Tao would probably obediently give it to his race. Xian Tao wouldn't reveal Fan Nuo castle leader's secret either. The moment it was revealed, Fan Nuo castle leader's position would be extremely high, with 3 bodies, each comparable to an elite universe lord. His position was already close to that of a universe lord. Even if the Thorny Ring Alliance knew he had the stone, they wouldn't forcefully demand it. If they were forced, the special life form Fan Nuo castle leader could totally leave the Thorny Ring Alliance and join another power. Both had their own thoughts. Xian Tao wasn't afraid of Fan Nuo castle leader chasing him, he had the confidence to survive. Fan Nuo castle leader too had the thought of getting it himself, hence he dragged it out. Who would have thought that Luo Feng would interfere? Xian Tao was indeed good at escaping. With the domain treasure paired with the high-level armor and flowing light wings, even Luo Feng couldn't catch up. Eventually he had to rely on I'm the universe to kill him. Hence, the stone landed in Luo Feng's hands. With the stone in my hands, I too have the right to enter the shrine. Luo Feng was extremely excited. This chance, I'm afraid it'll only come once in countless eras. And within 1,000 years, I'll definitely be able to step into the universe night level. The moment I do, my body will grow even stronger. My power will be even stronger, and I'll have the qualifications to compete for treasures. Double quote. Luo Feng nodded within. Simultaneously he tested the third piece of metal. It was worth 31 treasure points. Even though Luo Feng was shocked, he only smiled. Following which Luo Feng left Primal Chaos City, leaving the Primal Universe, returning to the actual universe. Within the Thorny Ring Alliance territory, a life planet was incomparably flourishing. The spread of technology was very powerful, even if one didn't walk the path of technology. However, the majority of life planets in the universe, especially those with weak genes, the planets they lived on would use technology to create an incredibly comfortable living environment. Skyscrapers, flying cars, parking platforms, it could be seen everywhere. At the top of one of the skyscrapers, Fan Nuo Castle leader had transformed into a 3-meter-tall god body. He sat on a chair and gazed down at the city. As he was a special life form, he actually liked the normal weak life forms living in this world. Luo Feng. Golden Horned Beast. The divergent mirror stone should have fallen into his hands. My mission this time failed. He'll definitely be suspicious. I believe with the human race's intelligence system, he should be able to identify the stone. Fan Nuo Castle leader creased his eyebrows in thought. Chapter 1108 Swallowed Star. Fan Nuo Castle master sat in the skyscraper's top floor hall. Suddenly the doorbell rang. Enter. Fan Nuo Castle master said. Hua. The door automatically opened to the two sides and a two-handed foreign race man with many feelers on his face walked in. Boss, this is this year's detailed financial report. The foreign race man respectfully handed over a document. On it was filled with many different race words. Fan Nuo Castle master picked it up and flipped through it. This was a company he had created while pretending to be a normal being on this planet. Even though it was laughable for a great pinnacle overlord to do such a thing, Fan Nuo liked the feeling of being close to the most normal people in the universe. Feeling the competition between the normal people, Fan Nuo Castle master would occasionally get emotional. Even the origin laws would occasionally be triggered. You can leave first, I'll hold a meeting later. Fan Nuo ordered. Yes. The normal beings working in this company probably couldn't even imagine how terrifying their boss was. Even though he was the strongest on this planet, a universe-level warrior. In Fan Nuo Castle master's eyes, he was nothing but a joke. He lived on this planet and had already secretly controlled many changes in the planet's powers. To him, it was just a thought. If he wanted to. One thought and he could destroy the twin stars in the sky. Luo Feng was actually taken over by the Golden Horned Beast. Undyings can't be taken over, that means he was taken over when he was a Sector Lord? Back then when he made such a name for himself in Purple Thorn Island, he was secretly taken over. No wonder he died and revived back then, so he was just a new body taken over by the Golden Horned Beast. Fan Nuo Castle master thought. Taking over was when the soul enters a new body and abandons the original one. The Golden Horned Beast had a main body and 3 bodies. Using one of the bodies to take over, abandoning the original body, one would naturally be able to take over the new body. However, the target had to be Undying and below. There was no way to take over an Undying's body. Fan Nuo Castle master stood up fiercely. Not right. Luo Feng was able to kill an Emperor Pinnacle as a Sector Lord, and an Undying was able to kill Bark Mirror Emperor. His body was no weaker than a special life form. But even so, a Sector Lord level body, even if it's thousands of times stronger, it still can't hold the soul of a knight. Fan Nuo Castle master suddenly thought of this. Could it be that the Golden Horned Beast was Undying back then? Double quote. Yes. That's the only explanation for his successful possession. Why isn't he famous? I can't recognize him at all. But how could he use such a powerful secret technique? Even if it's an innate secret skill, the innate secret skill of a heaven-defying special life form, it wouldn't be this strong. Fan Nuo Castle Master's train of thought had reached a dead end. Luo Feng possessed the golden horned beast. Impossible. Luo Feng's growth time was too short, he couldn't create such a terrifying technique. The golden horned beast took over Luo Feng? That was also impossible. Luo Feng's body back then wasn't able to contain the Universe Knight's soul, and the golden horned beast back then was definitely still undying. In such a short time, it was impossible to create such a terrifying technique. But they used the same secret technique, so it's clear that they have the same consciousness. It must be a possession. Double quote. What happened? What's going on? Castle Master Fan Nuo thought for a long time but still could not figure it out. He could only sigh. The universe was indeed mysterious and unpredictable. There were still many things that could not be explained. Fan Nuo Castle Master lived on this normal planet. Luo Feng returned to his god country to meditate, wanting to break through to the Universe Knight level. At this time, the peak of the virtual universe Lightning Island, within the palace shrouded in endless chaos energy. The primal chaos city leader sat cross-legged at the edge of the cliff. Suddenly a screen lit up beside him. Simultaneously it displayed detailed information and a picture, the picture of the divergent mirror stone. HM. The virtual universe system sent it directly. What's the important news? The primal chaos city leader opened his eyes and looked curiously at the screen. With one look he revealed shock. Luo Feng acquired the divergent mirror stone. Primal chaos. A voice resounded around him. Huge axe. The primal chaos city leader spoke respectfully. There were only two people in the entire human race that could speak to him without a request. The creator of the huge axe was one of them. Primal chaos. That Luo Feng used the virtual universe system to appraise the divergent mirror stone. You know about it. The voice resounded around. The other universe lords know about it at the same time, right? No, I'm preparing to hold a meeting with the upper echelon regarding the ownership of the divergent mirror stone. Do you agree? Double quote. I agree. The primal chaos city leader nodded. The primal chaos city leader understood too. The divergent mirror stone was related to the most important treasure since the opening of the primal planet. Like some normal treasures, the universe lords didn't care at all. However, the pinnacle treasure that was about to appear in the divergent god shrine, not a single power in the universe wouldn't covet it. The creator of the huge axe decided to hold a meeting with the upper echelon, and didn't directly ask Luo Feng for it. That was already not bad. The virtual universe system was after all the human race's virtual universe. And the humans with the highest positions were naturally the creator of the huge axe, the primal chaos city leader, the void gold lord, the Yan mountain leader, the dragon travel leader and the other 10 great beings. After Luo Feng appraised the divergent mirror stone, the virtual universe system went through a logical analysis and sent it to the upper echelon. Virtual universe, one of the planes, endless darkness, distant specks of starlight. A simple shrine floated in mid-air. Before the shrine was a long stone table. On both sides of the table were stone chairs. At the same time there was only one stone chair at the head of the table. A huge savage sat there. Silhouettes appeared on the chairs on both sides of the table. It was the primal chaos city leader and the other universe lords. In an instant, they had all arrived. Everyone has arrived. The huge savage looked at both sides. However, he made all the universe lords treat him with respect. The creator of the huge axe was the strongest in the universe. Luo Feng has acquired the divergent mirror stone, and it's related to a pinnacle domain treasure. This level of treasure, the huge savage said directly, it's extremely important to our race. However, this was acquired by Luo Feng with his own strength. he can't just ask for it. As for what we should do, everyone speak. Double quote. The moment the Creator spoke, it was equivalent to saying, he couldn't just ask for it. Divergent mirror stone. A cold voice resounded, it's related to the divergent god shrine. What's Luo Feng's strength? Giving it to him is useless. For the race's strength, for him to hand over the stone, at most give him some compensation. Is one high-level treasure enough? If not, we can just give more, won't that do? Double quote. HM. A universe lord nodded. I agree. Right, even though he acquired it, giving it to him is a waste. After the opening of the divergent god shrine, the stone will have no value anymore. And the stone may very well give our human race yet another absolute treasure. Double quote. I agree. I agree. The universe lords all expressed their opinions. Even though I agree with everyone, however, everyone must take note. Luo Feng has risen to where he is today, his edge is unfathomable. As a genius that only appears once in a trillion years. His arrogance is unimaginable. Even though the stone is very important, don't cause trouble with Luo Feng because of this. Back then, the Flame Emperor had a bad temper. Even though he wanted to steal a treasure from his own race, he shouldn't have left his race. This matter seems easy, however we have to be careful, don't cause trouble. This Luo Feng's talent isn't any weaker than the Flame Emperor back then, he may very well become a universe lord in the future. A warm voice resounded. It's not the same. Luo Feng and the Flame Emperor are completely different. The Flame Emperor is extremely selfish. Even though our race tolerates the absolute warriors, we don't even have the most basic protection for our own race. He even acts against his own race, and still doesn't think it's wrong. Such an extremely selfish person. I don't feel pity for him leaving our race, instead I feel joy. If I were to fight alongside him, that would be an insult to me. Double quote. The Flame Emperor and Luo Feng's personalities are different. That warm voice continued, even though they are different, the arrogance of an absolute genius is something everyone understands. The more powerful they are, the more confidence they have in themselves. If we don't handle it well, it'll easily incite dissatisfaction. In theory, this stone was indeed acquired by Luo Feng himself. Even if it's wasted, it's still his authority. No matter how much we feel pity for the race, we can't interfere. Of course, from the perspective of the race, it's best for Huge Axe to take the stone and enter personally. With his abilities, naturally he'll have a high chance of acquiring the absolute treasure. Double quote. HM. I agree with King Dong leader. Indeed we should be careful. That Luo Feng taking it would be a waste, however how to convince him is very important. We should get it back from him. Convincing him, however, is a little difficult. One by one, the masters of the universe spoke up. Other than the Primal Chaos City leader who didn't speak, the other universe lords all spoke, and swiftly came to a conclusion. They had to get the stone back, and it would be best if they could convince Luo Feng. Even though these universe lords were the true rulers of humanity, they still held Luo Feng in high regard. Primal Chaos, what do you say? The creator Huge Axe looked over. The Primal Chaos City leader shook his head and smiled. What else can I say? Since everyone is of the same opinion, I naturally won't have any objections. The stone, we have to get it back, however the prerequisite is that we don't escalate the conflict. With Flame Emperor gone, we can't let Luo Feng go too. Double quote. The many universe lords all nodded. Warriors leaving their original powers and joining others, there were many such cases in the universe. Firstly, the absolute warriors usually had their loved ones long dead. Secondly, the stronger they were, the more confident they were, and their thoughts were firm. The moment they were angered, if they were truly angered, there were indeed many who would leave their own powers. This matter, Primal Chaos, you handle it. Savage smiled. You are his teacher, if you speak, his resistance should be the lowest. Haha, Primal chaos, I'll have to trouble you with this. Haha, the surrounding universe lords all laughed. The primal chaos city leader could only nod. You have to think of a way to get Luo Feng to agree. Savage emphasized, the stone is after all related to the absolute treasures of the Qi Shen Palace. I will convince him. The primal chaos city leader nodded. 3 chapters completed. Brothers and sisters, Merry Christmas Eve. Do you have Christmas tickets? Chapter 1109 Swallowed Star. Above the endless dark ocean, the golden shrine glowed with endless god light. Luo Feng sat cross-legged before the shrine, his eyes looking at the endless god country. In his mind, he recalled the engravings one by one, occasionally recalling the teleportation, strangulation, sealing, the 3 mysteries. Because of the engravings, Luo Feng's creator techniques already had complete space laws within them. Hence recalling those engravings made Luo Feng feel a little emotional. Just a little bit more, just a little bit more. That feeling is getting closer and closer. I can comprehend and break through at any time, just a little bit more. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows and stopped his training, because his consciousness connected to the virtual universe received a mail, and it was an extremely important one. In the mail settings, normal friend's mail was set to not disturb him, only his wife, son, teacher and other important people's mail could be filtered through the virtual assistant and interrupt his training. Primal Chaos City leader teacher wants to see me? He wants to see me. Don't tell me, Luo Feng had a thought, he couldn't help but worry. Virtual Universe Thunder Island, endless primal chaos energy shrouded it. Behind the palace was a winding pathway. Luo Feng and the Primal Chaos City leader were walking side by side. Teacher called me here and didn't say anything, it made me very nervous. Luo Feng said. I didn't say anything, I was just thinking about how to convince you. Luo Feng, you should have guessed what's going on, right? The Primal Chaos City leader looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng nodded when he heard that. When I was in Primal Chaos City, I let the virtual universe system appraise the Key Mirror Stone. I knew something like this would happen. Before, I was hoping the virtual universe system would keep it a secret and not reveal this information. Before the appraisal, Luo Feng didn't expect the Fan Nuo Castle leader to actually want the Key Mirror Stone. If it wasn't as important, it wouldn't have caused such a huge commotion. After the appraisal, Luo Feng knew it was the Key Mirror Stone, but it was already too late. The virtual universe system normally keeps it a secret. The Primal Chaos City leader said, this matter has been carefully analyzed, finally confirmed this matter affects the entire race, hence it chose to inform every single universe lord. Luo Feng nodded. The situation right now is very simple. The Primal Chaos City leader walked to a table outside the walkway, casually summoning his servants. 2 of them respectfully brought over the delicacies. Luo Feng, sit and we'll talk. Luo Feng followed and sat down. Looking at the food and drinks on the table, he knew that the Primal Chaos City teacher placed a lot of importance on this matter, at least the preparations were very exquisite. In the past, he would usually converse with his teacher at the edge of the cliff in front of the palace or in the main hall. This time, they came to the corridor behind the palace and even sat down to converse. The situation is very simple, because you were appraising the treasure in Primal Chaos City, the virtual universe system sent the information to the creator of the huge axe and all the other universe lords. The Primal Chaos City leader looked at Luo Feng, which means, the strongest upper echelon of humanity all know about it. We have come to a decision on how to deal with this matter. Luo Feng's ears twitched. Decision? He immediately turned to look at his teacher. Primal Chaos City Master saw this and said, I believe you can guess the result. What result? Luo Feng couldn't help but ask. The clan really needs this divergent mirror stone. The primal Chaos City Master emphasized, the Divergent Mirror Stone is connected to an absolute treasure. The Divergent God Palace is the biggest treasure trove in the entire primal planet's history. This treasure is extremely important. Even though our human race is strong, we don't have an absolute treasure guarding it. To be able to have one more pinnacle domain level treasure, to our human race, it's a huge benefit. Double quote. No absolute treasures guarding it. Luo Feng was stunned. The human race. No absolute treasures. Our human race, we really don't have any absolute treasures. Luo Feng couldn't help but ask. The primal Chaos City Master hesitated for a moment, shaking his head. No, before we had one, now we don't. Before we had one. Luo Feng was even more suspicious. There seemed to be a story behind all this. However, according to the information he had read in the Virtual Universe Network, with his current position, he had indeed found out a lot of important information through the information. The absolute treasures in the universe were indeed extremely rare. According to what Mountain Guest said, even the strongest warriors in the universe didn't have any absolute treasures. Absolute treasures could completely make the strongest warriors in the universe go crazy for them. Even the strongest of the universe, the ancestral god sect's guardian treasure, was an absolute treasure. From this, one could see how rare the absolute treasures were. However, Luo Feng didn't expect that the incomparably strong Great Alliance and human race actually didn't have any absolute treasures. We don't have any. The primal Chaos City Master looked at Luo Feng. The universe's 9 great powers, 5 of them have them, however our human race indeed doesn't have any. Luo Feng felt a sense of anxiety. The human race was weak in this aspect. Hence the treasure related to the Divergent Mirror Stone should be comparable to our human race's most important treasure. The primal Chaos City Master looked at Luo Feng, and all the universe lords think, with the Divergent Mirror Stone in your hands, if you were to attempt that shrine, the result would be very bad. If we were to give the stone to the creator of the huge axe to attempt, his chances would definitely be much higher. Double quote. The creator of the huge axe. Luo Feng was shocked within, that was the strongest warrior in the universe. Of course we won't force you. The primal Chaos City Master raised his wine glass, looking at it, everything is up to you. After which he looked up at Luo Feng, his eyes staring straight ahead. Teacher hopes you can help the human race once. Luo Feng was shocked. Help? He wasn't an idiot, training to where he was today, and wandering the universe for 50,000 years. Luo Feng's vision was incomparably clear. Actually, the moment the primal Chaos City Masters summoned him, Luo Feng had already guessed many things. It was just that the primal Chaos City Masters' negotiation methods were extremely straightforward. Without any other methods, he directly analyzed the situation and told everything to Luo Feng, sincerely using his position as the Universe Lord, as his teacher, to ask Luo Feng to help the human race once. This made it hard for Luo Feng to reject. Teacher. Luo Feng said. The primal Chaos City Master looked at Luo Feng. There are a total of 36 divergent mirror stones scattered across 10,081 primal stars. Don't tell me our human race didn't even get one? Luo Feng asked. We didn't. The primal Chaos City Master raised his head and drank a glass of wine. From these words, he could already feel that Luo Feng wasn't too willing, after which he placed his glass down. The human race's warrior numbers are only a small portion of the entire universe. Just like the Northern Border Alliance, they have the most warriors in the entire universe. Their knight numbers are over 100 times that of our Great Alliance. The stronger they are, scattered across the various primal stars, the chances of getting the divergent mirror stones are naturally higher. I estimate that the Northern Border Alliance would at most get 1 or 2. After all, compared to the entire universe, the Northern Border Alliance is only a small portion. Double quote. Even the Northern Border Alliance might only get 1 or 2, how many can our human race get? The primal Chaos City Master looked at Luo Feng. So few. Luo Feng was stunned. Right. The number of inheritors and knights in the Great Alliance were far fewer than the Northern Border Alliance. On the Primal Star, the number of knights that had died in his hands alone exceeded 20. There are still the 9 Domains Alliance, Thornring Alliance, etc. in the universe. There are also other weaker allied powers. Even though they are weak, their numbers are huge. Hence, many of the 36 divergent mirror stones will be acquired by these powers. When the time comes, through the 36 passages of the Divergent God Palace, these powers will be able to acquire powerful treasures. Double quote. Maybe, this is one of the universe's methods of balance. Luo Feng nodded as he heard. The Primal Chaos City Master looked at Luo Feng. Give me an answer, are you willing or not? Teacher, your disciple isn't willing. Luo Feng said directly. The Primal Chaos City Master frowned, after which he relaxed. You aren't willing? The 36 warriors that entered this time, may be slightly lesser, some of them don't even recognize the divergent mirror stones. But those that enter, over half of them will be universe lords or even the strongest in the universe. The rest will be the pinnacle of the universe, or even the universe lord. If one doesn't even have the strength of a universe lord, he doesn't even have the right to enter. This has been the rule of the opening of the Primal Star, the biggest treasure trove. And in the end, the ones that acquire the absolute treasures are usually universe lords or the strongest in the universe. Double quote. Do you know what are the strongest in the universe? The Primal Chaos City Master looked at Luo Feng. Even if teacher meets one, he might fall. They are the most terrifying beings in the universe. Double quote. You still want to go? The Primal Chaos City Master was anxious. Yes. Luo Feng nodded. It was because he knew the details, knowing that the divergent mirror stones weren't based on strength, but were distributed randomly, leading to the universe's strong and weak powers to obtain them, along with the different pathways. He could totally take a gamble. One had to know that in history, every time the Primal Star opened the biggest treasure trove, according to the Primal Chaos City Master, it was always the Universe Lord or the universe's strongest that acquired the absolute treasures. If I were to step into the Universe Lord level, my body would be much stronger, the armor would be able to activate the third form. Even if I were to go get the 5th black metal board, back then I heard teachers sitting passengers say, the 5th black metal board might give me an unexpected situation. However, no matter, at that time I would already be able to activate the Star Pagoda. Even if I met the universe's strongest, I could hide within the Star Pagoda and he wouldn't be able to do anything to me. Double quote. The Star Pagoda was an absolute treasure. The human race didn't even have an absolute treasure. The Star Pagoda had no owner to control it, placed in the outer region battlefield, causing the 4 pinnacle races to fight, causing the universe's strongest to go crazy, yet no one could take it away. This was power. Luo Feng relied on the Star Pagoda. Naturally he didn't fear any being. Since that was the case, since he had such confidence, the Divergent God Palace, naturally he would enter it himself. If he was strong, his race would be strong too. Don't you think your strength isn't enough? The Primal Chaos City Master couldn't help but say, it's too dangerous for you to go. Teacher. Luo Feng looked at the Primal Chaos City Master. Your disciple currently has the strength of an elite universe lord. Chapter 1110 Swallowed Star. The table was filled with the most famous delicacies of the universe, however Luo Feng didn't touch it all. The Primal Chaos City leader gently poured some wine and smiled at Luo Feng. Pinnacle Universe Overlord strength. I know your body is comparable to a Universe Knight, and you have the 9 Hell Clone as a foundation. It can be said to have an endless supply of God energy. Your golden horned beast clone is also 1,000 km long god body, along with the high-level armor. Even an elite universe tyrant would find it hard to kill you, but that doesn't mean you have that level of power. Double quote. Luo Feng looked at his teacher with determination. The Primal Chaos City leader looked at Luo Feng. Their eyes met. Really? Primal Chaos City Master couldn't help but ask. Luo Feng nodded. Then those alien race warriors who died because of you, were you the one who killed them? The Primal Chaos City Master couldn't help but ask. Luo Feng nodded. The Primal Chaos City leader carefully observed Luo Feng. He watched as Luo Feng rose up, and the speed of his rise far surpassed his expectations. Even though Luo Feng's words were shocking, with their close to 100,000 years of teacher and disciple relationship, the Primal Chaos City leader felt that it could very well be true. We'll talk about this later. The Primal Chaos City leader shook his head. Luo Feng, I'm your teacher, I won't harm you. Please speak. Teacher Luo Feng listened. The key mirror stone is related to the most important supreme treasure since the opening of the primitive star. The Primal Chaos City Lord said solemnly, the news of you possessing the divergent mirror stone is known to the masters of the universe and the creator of the huge axe. Although they won't force you to hand it over, if you really don't hand it over, I'm afraid that the masters of the universe will be unhappy with you. Double quote. In the future, you are destined to become a member of the highest echelon of the human race. It is not a good thing to make them unhappy now. Double quote. Luo Feng nodded as he listened. So what if you have the strength of a peak universe overlord? More than half of those who enter the Divergent God Palace will be universe lords. There might even be one or two of the universe's strongest experts involved. The 36 passages of the Divergent God Palace were more considerate towards the weak, but after all, strength was the foundation. In the end, the ones who would truly fight for the supreme treasure would definitely be the Lord of the Universe or the strongest expert in the universe. Even if you are a top universe overlord, you still have to step aside. Double quote. The Primal Chaos City leader looked at Luo Feng. Your insistence on going caused the masters of the universe to be slightly dissatisfied. 2. He wouldn't be able to obtain the supreme treasure. Why bother? Double quote. Horizontal ellipsis. The Primal Chaos City leader started from the perspective of the race, and now from the perspective of benefits. His only goal was to make Luo Feng hand over the Divergence Mirror Stone. Good for Luo Feng, good for everyone. Moreover, the race will compensate you. After all, this Divergent Mirror Stone belongs to you. The Primal Chaos City Master said. A Divergent Mirror Stone is worth 20 treasure points. 30 supreme treasure points. As long as you are willing, I believe the clan will provide you with sufficient compensation. Double quote. Luo Feng sighed within. If a universe lord had obtained the Divergent Mirror Stone, his race would not have to deal with such trivial matters. Now, because he had the potential to stand at the highest level of his race, he was speaking to him politely. If he was just an ordinary universe supremacy, the treatment would probably be completely different. But, after all, he was the one who obtained the key mirror stone. It belonged to him. Teacher wishes for you to hand it over. The Primal Chaos City leader looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng looked at the Primal Chaos City leader's expression. If it was a normal universe lord, he wouldn't even bother with him. However, the city leader had been very kind to him, silently guiding and teaching him. Teacher, you just said that if I offer myself to the tribe will compensate me. Luo Feng took a deep breath. My request isn't high either. I'll use the Divergent Mirror Stone to exchange for the other half of Earth's ownership. Which means, I want to get Earth back. Return my home to me? Double quote. That's my request. If you agree, give the Divergent Mirror Stone to the tribe. I don't need anything else, just the other half of Earth's ownership. Double quote. If you don't agree, I won't hand over the divergent mirror stone, Luo Feng said. The primal chaos city leader was slightly stunned. Earth. Right, Earth. Luo Feng nodded. Silence. The two absolute beings of the universe on both sides of the table, the teacher and disciple, were momentarily silent. You want Earth? The primal chaos city leader was silent for a while before saying slowly, how do you plan to deal with the aliens? Back then, I spent 50 billion mixed elements to make me lose half of Earth's ownership, allowing large amounts of aliens to live in Earth's oceans, floating cities above the oceans, etc. They are after all aliens, not our Earth people. That is the origin of our Earth people, our home. I'll make all those aliens leave. Land, ocean. They're all Earth peoples. Luo Feng emphasized. Back then, under the pressure of the tribe, they had no choice but to lower their heads and hand over half of Earth's ownership. However, from then on, Luo Feng had gritted his teeth. He had been waiting silently, hoping for the day he could get Earth back. These few years, on Earth, the aliens had always been arrogant. Luo Feng could only suppress them to not mess around. However, the aliens still looked down on the Earth natives. However, that blue planet was after all the home of the Earth people. Chase them away? The primal chaos city leader pondered. Teacher, back then I only spent 50 billion mixed elements. Luo Feng smiled. 50 billion mixed elements? It's not even worth a tiny bit of a treasure. Right now, I'm taking out the divergent mirror stone. If we count the profits, it's already multiplied by 10,000 to 1 million times. I understand your thoughts. The primal chaos city leader nodded. This matter, I can't make the decision, however I'll give you an answer very soon. Luo Feng nodded. Luo Feng wasn't an idiot, he wasn't a fool who would be blinded by the tribe's words, selflessly sacrifice himself. Did he contribute all his treasures to make some other powerhouse even stronger? One had to know. Ever since he stepped out of Earth and into the universe, Luo Feng had always had a responsibility on his shoulders. Earth. The rise of the Earthlings and their future destiny would all depend on him. Hence Luo Feng definitely wouldn't easily give up on a chance to grow stronger. What's more, the divergent mirror stone was obtained by himself. The Divergent God Palace was the Primal Star's biggest treasure trove this time. Luo Feng really wanted to go. However, since his teacher had personally asked, and was so sincere. Plus, deep within Luo Feng's heart, the most important dream was to retrieve Earth. Compared to retrieving Earth, the importance of the Divergent Mirror Stone was obviously much lower. Retrieving Earth, in my plans, isn't an easy task. If I can take this chance, I'll succeed. Even if I lose the Divergent Mirror Stone, it's nothing. Luo Feng thought. Humanity and Earth. Even though Luo Feng had a sense of belonging to humanity, his sense of belonging to Earth was even stronger. He was the leader of the Earth people, their spiritual leader. He shouldered the fate of Earth. Secondly, he was a part of humanity. What's more, the Divergent Mirror Stone was just a bonus for humanity. It didn't affect the rise or fall of humanity at all. Naturally, he didn't have to care about the bigger picture. In the dark space, stars twinkled. Numerous universe lords were seated on both sides of the long stone table. Primal chaos, there's a result. Gathering us all here, is there a reason? That Luo Feng will reject, that's impossible. Primal chaos, as his teacher, even with you personally making a move, can't you convince him? How would he dare reject, and with that bit of ability of his, isn't it a waste to use the Divergent Mirror Stone? Primal chaos, if you can't convince him, I'll go find this punk. In the main seat, the creator of the huge axe swept his gaze. Immediately all the universe lords went silent. Primal chaos, speak to them. The creator ordered. Luo Feng has agreed. The Primal Chaos City leader looked around at the other universe lords. However, he raised a condition. Haha, good. He really agreed. As long as he agreed, the condition is to compensate him. What condition? Some of the universe lords immediately spoke up, while others watched silently. If the matter was simple, they wouldn't have been summoned twice. The primal Chaos City leader continued, his condition is very simple: return the other half of Earth to him. Earth is his home. Back then, he used 50 billion mixed elements to buy half of Earth, allowing all the large powers to send large amounts of their descendants into the seas and skies of Earth. Now he wants to take back Earth. Double quote. What about the descendants of the various races? A cold voice resounded. Luo Feng wants to expel all the alien descendants, leaving only the Earth people. The primal Chaos City leader said. No. Definitely not. This is impossible. More and more universe lords spoke up, filled with rage. When Earth was discovered back then, it attracted attention. However, back then, the creator of Giant Axe believed that it was a special planet specially modified and refined by Mountain Guest. Back then, the masters of the universe were only curious and believed that Mountain Guest's handiwork must be extraordinary. However, they didn't know how precious Earth was. However, after 100,000 years, Luo Feng had been growing for 100,000 years now, and those alien immigrants had moved to Earth for 100,000 years too. In this period of time, many generations of alien descendants were born on Earth, and as long as they were born they would go through the nurturing of their respective races, discovering that their comprehension abilities were very high. Their mental states were easy to train, giving birth to strong warriors and geniuses had a very high probability. Mental states seemed normal, not important at the start of training. However, as one progressed, universe level, domain lord, sector lord, the higher one progressed, the more important it became. This caused the various masters of the universe to gasp in shock. Such powerful Earth. Such a powerful Mountain Guest. The souls of these descendants who were born on Earth must have undergone some changes, causing their mental state and temperament to be tempered and nurtured to have a much higher success rate. In just a mere 100,000 years, a batch of geniuses and experts had appeared. There were even a bunch of world overlords. If as time passed, just Earth alone was enough to create one of the strongest branches of humanity, it wouldn't pale in comparison to the Flame God race back then. Compared to the Flame God race, Earth's strength was much stronger. No way. That's a special planet created by Mountain Guest, it's priceless. It won't pale in comparison to a pinnacle domain treasure. This won't do. Double quote. Let him change his conditions. The universe lords spoke.